Hello all and welcome to Mechanical Talks IIT Bombay Diaries. I am Prem Kumar and I will be your host for today's session. Today we have Mr. Prajwal with us who has been selected in CS as a machine learning engineer. He is a final year MTech mechanical student, batch of 21 from manufacturing specialization. He completed his BTech from Kerala University. Currently he is a company coordinator at Institute Placement Team for the year 2021. Welcome Prajwal for
Thank
the
you.
Mechanical Talks. Firstly, could you please briefly explain our audience about the role you have been selected for?
So I have been selected for the role of a machine learning engineer at CS. So what I have gathered and by asking from the people who are currently working at CS is that CS is a company which helps shifting an offline enterprise or system into an online system on a cloud system. So they work closely with Google Cloud Platform as well. So that's where they do their cloud working as well. And furthermore, they optimize your logistic and by implementing machine learning and artificial intelligence models.
Okay, so
Most
and
of the
how old this company? Do you have any idea?
So it was founded in 2004, so it has been 16 years.
Okay, nice.
Mhm.
Uh, and like, how many students were selected for this role?
So I think 8 to 9 people were selected. I'm guessing here. I'm not very sure of the
Okay,
accurate number, but yeah, I think more than five in any case
uh,
were selected.
okay. Like, what were the departments as such? How many
So,
from mechanical to be precise?
so the thing is, CS was open to all departments.
Hmm.
They had conducted an aptitude test, but the funny thing was that during the shortlisting, only mechanical people were shortlisted. So it may be a glitch or it may be something that they might prefer, but
Okay,
only people from mechanical specialization and only MTechs were shortlisted.
not even DD.
Uh, no, BTechs and MTechs were shortlisted. Okay,
Okay,
we have two people from BTech also.
okay, right. And from mechanical, those who were selected,
Mhm.
apart from you, for interview,
Mhm.
not final selection. What
Okay.
were their specializations? Like,
So specializations varied from manufacturing, thermal, and design. I think design. I don't know
mm,
for as for sure, but
mm,
thermal and manufacturing were there for sure.
okay. So, like, you might have given many tests, and you might have seen that your friends are getting selected, getting shortlisted for the interviews as such.
Yes, yes.
Like, do you see any edge of being from manufacturing side?
Actually, see, within the department that is like design, thermal, and manufacturing. So design, I don't know how the curriculum of design varies, but being from manufacturing, it has given me an edge. You get more options in the sense to choose from the subject. So I had taken an elective from electrical in my second semester, which was introduction to machine learning,
Amish Shetty,
and
sir.
yes, from Amit Sethi sir.
Okay.
So I could convert that to department also. So the faculty advice in mechanical as a whole is good, but manufacturing allowed us that flexibility to select our own subjects. For example, we can select our department electives in the first semester as well in manufacturing, whereas in thermal there is a constraint that you cannot select your subjects, and core subjects are the one that you should prefer.
Okay. Like, after spending a semester in second semester, TS usually focus on their placements. At that point, manufacturing people were already on track, whereas thermal people had to start from scratch in their second
Yeah,
semester.
because first semester only I had taken up data mining, engineering and applications by Vinay Kulkarni and Asim Tiwari sir. So
Okay.
that helped me to get an idea of this field. And in the second semester, because I had done that in the first semester, it did the workload of introduction to machine learning didn't affect me that much as to what a new entrant
Yeah.
must have
Exactly.
suffered.
Exactly. Yeah. So, which resume did you use? Two page, one page,
So
and
I
in
had used
general,
a
how you used to decide like when to use
okay.
two page or when to use one page?
So majority of the time only use two-page resumes.
Mm,
So and that too, if a company is referring to a data science or IT field, so I would strictly use my 2-page data science resume only that I had created. So and 1-page resume, hardly have I ever used my 1-page resume. But for firms, like there was a mock interview which was conducted, mock interview session by the institute only. I think I can't remember the company's name, but they had come in and given us some suggestions. So the big firms, which are the
Cantilever
consulting
Labs.
firms, Cantilever Labs. So the big firms, which were the consulting and finance related firms, in those firms, it's he generally recommended us to make a 1-page resume, because the HRs were more interested in uh, a brief introduction to your character rather than the entire length of the resume.
Okay. Like, did you notice or observe that were there any companies from other than core or machine learning? Do we have companies which open for MTech mechanical
Yeah,
for
there are.
consulting or finance?
Yeah, so there are companies like Morgan Stanley, there are companies like Ivy Cap Ventures, Black and Veatch.
Okay.
These are some of the companies that open for masters and PhDs alike, apart from BTechs and dual degrees.
Okay.
So as
Okay.
far as I can remember, Aniket was shortlisted for Black and Veatch, and
Yes.
Janil was shortlisted for Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley. Perfect. Then
And we all were shortlisted for Ivy Cap Ventures, I think, but they did not come in phase one placement sessions because they had some restrictions. I think they are coming back for phase 2.
okay, nice. Apart from Sears, like which all interviews did you give and how was your experience with those?
Okay, so apart from CS, I had given 5 interviews.
Oh
So
my
it
God.
was a length, it was a
Yeah.
lengthy process. So it started with day one, so Airbus and Flipkart. So I had my Airbus interview in the morning slot, early in the morning, and my Flipkart interview during the evening slot.
Mm-hmm.
And on day 3, I was shortlisted for Micron and Mercedes, so I
Okay.
had both of them. And on day 5, I had ICICI Bank Lombard,
Mm-hmm.
ICICI Lombard, and on day 7, I had CS. So that was it.
Okay.
And apart
Nice.
from that, on day 7, night, I think a shortlist had arrived for. No, day 7 night there was a test, and day 8 morning I was shortlisted for L&T, but I did not give the
Interview because
interview
you were
as I was
selected.
set for
Yeah.
CS.
Okay, like as you mentioned the name of the firms, it included, if we consider L&T as well. Now with L&T you have completed all the domains. Like you had
Yes,
ML, you had core,
uh,
everything like
everything.
finance, everything.
Yes. Yes.
So how did you prepare? Like most of the tests we can prepare using aptitude, but
Ah,
in general, how was your strategy? How could you do that? Because more than
so
50% of mechanical as of now has not been shortlisted for a single interview. So
yes.
how could you?
So the main thing was, so surprise for me was Flipkart actually, because I thought I had like done badly in the test, poorly in the test I would say, but I was shortlisted by some luck, and that was, I think I was not prepared for that as well, but because that was a company that I could have converted had I prepared more for it. But I think my general strategy was that I had to prepare the data science part properly, and according to that, what was asked in the questions. So I think we had an interaction during the placement sessions where you were shortlisted for companies. Me and Janil had asked you,
Mhm.
Janil and I had asked you about how to prepare for this, and you had directed us towards analytics Vidya. So the 40
Yeah,
question, 40 questions, they were
yeah.
really helpful for the machine learning bit. And I would say, apart from that, majority of the tests were based on aptitude itself. So the companies that I was shortlisted for, like Flipkart, used a data science test. Micron used a data science test. Uh,
Flipkart, did it ask only data science MCQs or it was coding as
no,
well?
it was coding as well. So I had not like my code was not perfect. Like it was not running. Only a
Okay.
small set of problems were being solved.
Hmm.
All the test cases were not running. So I think my performance on the MCQs was good enough to get me through. So
Okay, so do you have like some idea for data science? Okay, before that, was there a separate test for software or it was a combined test for data science profile and software profile?
no, it was a combined test for data science and software. So we had a talk with, as I was a company coordinator, so we had a talk with HR also. So what he told us was that for the software profile, they had a higher cutoff, and for a data science profile,
Okay.
the
Mhm.
cutoff was lower. That was the
Okay.
only difference.
Okay. Then coding part you tried, but
I
like
couldn't get through all the test cases.
okay, nice. In general, how was your coding preparation? From where did you prepare and
In
what
general,
were
my
you learning?
so
Like,
in general, my coding preparation was, I would say, not up to the mark.
mm,
So I could run codes. I had the confidence that I could make up codes, but as I was working mainly on Python itself,
mhm,
so the time constraint and memory constraint problems came into play, for which I was not prepared.
mhm,
So what happened was that when you would write the codes that you think would run, but
mhm,
when you were experiencing it on the system level, it would be fine, but on the test level, it would not run. So
mhm,
that adds to the pressure during that period of time.
yeah.
So that was something that I faced. So the coding part, although I had coded previously, but that exam level coding was something I was that I had faced for the first time, I would say.
Okay. So, like, which platform did you use for
Practice.
preparation? Yeah.
So actually the department level tests were conducted on HackerRank. So we preferred HackerRank only,
Mhm,
HackerRank and Hacker Earth, I would say,
mhm,
because High Labs test was conducted on Hacker Earth,
mhm.
and it has
Yes.
a different way of input and output as compared
Yes.
to HackerRank. And so the High Labs test was very easy for me, but
Mm,
because I was not used to the environment in which, so I couldn't just take the input. I did not know where the input was coming from and what I had to
okay.
print. So
Okay.
this I would recommend to anyone who would be practicing or preparing for it, that please do visit the sites, platforms, and try to run at least simple codes before you attempt the test in real life, because it's pretty different from what you imagine on your
So,
system.
okay. If they gave 1 hour to solve two questions,
Yes.
initial 5-10 minutes may go in realizing how to get
Yeah.
yourself
What is the
adopted to that platform. Yeah.
Yeah, what is so for in my case, half an hour went. So I
Oh
couldn't
my God.
figure out how the input was coming through and what output I had to give in. So for example, HackerRank has a different way of doing things, that you don't have to take the input. The input is
Okay.
provided. That you I came to know in a later test that there's a specific way of doing that. Whereas in HackerRank, you have to consider that an input is being given and the spaces are provided and you have to code according to that. So that
Right.
was
Right.
that.
And for aptitude, like our
For
general
aptitude,
aptitude.
so for general aptitude, I had bought a HCMA book, but
Mm,
it was futile. It's a very thick book, and I wouldn't recommend anyone to go through the entire book. So
mhm,
what I did later on was that I just took the topics from an HCMA. You can find a PDF for HCMA
mhm.
which is available online, and then just take up a topic. For example, you are taking a topic of clock or time or ratio
Okay.
proportion. Just go on YouTube, search a 40-minute, 30-minute video, and I think in that 30 minutes, every type of problem of a general aptitude section would be solved. So you get a general idea of how to solve different types of problems. And after that, you have to just give tests to improve your efficiency in doing those problems. So the institute had tied up with Pariksha, I think.
Mhm.
So I and Janin used to just give Pariksha tests regularly, and we did inform each other also that we had given a test, so that to motivate the other person also in order to give the test. So it's very necessary that you work in a group, because
Yeah.
there's a limit to which where you can reach alone.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. So you used to search directly on YouTube. Any
Yeah.
specific channel you would like to suggest to?
um, right now I cannot point out a specific
Mhm.
channel, but
We can just search it. Right.
yeah, you can just search it.
Okay. like as you mentioned about group study, like how
Yes,
did
yes.
you, like what was your group, the like size
Okay.
of your group?
So we had 6 people in our group.
And how you
Uh,
used to like you, I believe everyone was at their home in different cities.
yes, yes.
So how you used to manage the time and like what?
So we used to meet up on Microsoft Teams itself. So we realized that some of us are strong in one section,
Mm,
whereas some of us are strong in another section of aptitude or any other subject. It's not aptitude. So we would utilize individual strengths. So we had students who were really strong at whose aptitudes were really strong. So we use their help, their guidance in order to like move on to the next topic. So we would
okay.
discuss freely on Teams itself. One person would decide what he would learn and come to the group, and he would teach other people also. And that's how we moved on. We made short notes along with it. So the
Mm,
gate preparation comes into play again. The
mm,
process of making short notes and then referring to them, revising them again and again.
yeah, nice. Did you prepare for core part? Anything?
No, I did
No.
not. So the thing is that I was an institute placement team company coordinator as well as I was working under Makaran sir. So the thing was that I was given very little leeway in order to what to prepare for and how to prepare for. So as we were at our homes only, the company coordinator part took up a lot of our time, tracking down companies, contacting their HRs, just sending out mails day in and day out. So it took a lot of our time.
Okay.
And apart from that, I had to perform well on my project also because
Mm,
Makran sir is a faculty member who wants your work to be done, regardless of what you do. Or so it's uh, work, and then there is placement. So
okay.
he prefers his work over placements.
Okay.
So I had to do that as well.
Mm,
So I had to choose what. So I did one more thing that I contacted the seniors also. So we had a buddy talk, in which majority of them also suggested that
mhm,
you either go for one or the other. Don't go for
okay.
both of, because there is a time constraint for it.
Mm, right. Your MTP is in machine learning itself.
No, no, no. My MTP
It's
is on reliability.
re reliability.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay.
So the main thing there was that the main crisp there was predictive maintenance. So predictive maintenance is a new word that
Mm,
that is of hype in the industry right now. So how
mhm,
do you do predictive maintenance?
okay.
How do you properly predict it? So I had put it in the future work category itself, not as my own work. So apart
Mhm,
from that, my work generally related to how do you define the criticality of a component, under what circumstances do you define the criticality. So that's a different line of work. I think
mhm,
if you are generally interested in reliability and working under Macrons, only then this would be beneficial to you.
okay.
Otherwise, it's a difficult concept to wrap around.
Okay. Okay. My question would be, you got placed as a machine learning engineer without having your MTP in machine learning. But
Yes.
many of our students or juniors are trying to get an MTP in machine learning so that they can get a job in that. So how do you
Okay.
see this? Like,
So having an MTP in machine learning certainly helps. So I had to work extra in order to strengthen my resume to show that I was interested in machine learning rather than just doing the generic courses, putting up the course projects. And so if you have your MTP in machine learning, or if you use machine learning, it will help you. Granted, like this year CPI was of importance. Other than that, you have the knowledge as well. So it does help, but not having your MTP in machine learning doesn't like show that
mhm,
you're not interested if you are putting it in your resume.
okay, okay. Convince them that we have done enough core courses and course projects. Still,
So
we have
what
chances.
I did was during the vacation period, I
Mhm,
think May, June, or before that also, I extensively searched on Internshala if any internships were available or not, if any work related to machine learning was available or not. So I found an internship. It was not a paid internship. So that hit me. And the internship was like not guided properly also. So I had to do the bulk of the work. I had to get my own data set. I had to apply my own methods in it. So I thought that it was not worth it. The effort I had put in was not worth it. But each and every interview that I had attended did pick up on this topic that, okay, you have to work at an internship, although that in effect that might have not produced great results, but your experience, the way you do things does help.
Okay. Okay. So you were at home with pressure, but without much pressure of going and physically meeting your professor. So
Yes.
in that sense, you could do an internship. So do you suggest
Okay,
your
so
juniors?
this I had done during the vacation period. So sure, I would suggest that during the vacation period, you should
Mm,
search for opportunities. So one thing, there are paid internships also, which will like incentivize the entire process. So some
mm,
internships pay 8,000, 10,000 rupees as well on a monthly basis.
mhm.
So when you actually do that work, you right now I realize that I had a test link from one or two internships in which this questions were pretty similar to what you are asked in your placement series also. So if you are preparing from analytics with your any of those forums, you should be able to crack those machine learning interviews as well,
Okay.
internship interviews.
Yes. Right. So like Prajwal, you passed out in 2017, right?
Yes, yes,
And you got admitted here in 2019.
2019.
Like many students here has this fear or doubt that when we have this gap of more 2 years or 3 years, uh, will that affect my placements at IIT Bombay?
No, they don't affect your placements in IIT Bombay. So there might be some companies who might be stringent in their methods, like we don't want people who have dropped out 2 years. But see, being in IIT Bombay in itself is a statement that you have really invested your 2 years or a year that you have dropped, and you have worked hard for it. So the companies don't ask why you have dropped 1 year or what happened in that 1 year. They just see upon the work and your own knowledge. So if it's justifiable, then they don't wear into what did you do in those 2 years.
Your placement was on day 7, like you got placed on day 7. And most of our colleagues, like many
Hmm.
students of mechanical, usually tend to get placed after day 4 only.
Yes.
Like with as days pass without getting placed from first day of December,
Hmm.
we tend to get demotivated. Like
Hmm.
our mental stability gets disturbed.
Yes.
We tend to lose hopes on getting placed. Like we just want things to get over. But you consistently went on giving interviews. You failed in once, and finally you got selected on day 7. And it takes really high mental stability to crack an interview on day 7. I believe that what kept you motivated throughout this.
Okay, so the thing is you don't give up. That's it. That's plain and simple as that. And it's highly demotivating, as you said. So after day three, I would say day four, none of the major apart from General Mills, none of the companies had come in from mechanical.
Mhm.
So after day four, I would say the pressure increases exponentially because the companies are few and far, and the tests are conducted one day before. So for till day four companies, the tests are conducted in the month of November. So you
Mm.
have a shortlist. So on day one, if you don't get shortlisted, you have hope. Yeah, I am shortlisted for some companies on day three. I can prepare for that. But from day five onwards, the scenario changes that you have to give the test the day before night, and you have to attend the interview on the very next day. So it takes a toll on you at that
Mm.
moment of time with that pressure. So the main thing is that you will get demotivated if it's after day four.
Mm.
So you need someone to talk to, someone you can share your stress with,
Okay.
and you need to have a good group of friends. So my friends also helped me. So the major issue with them also is there's nothing you can say that can really like calm you or take your stress away. You have to
Exactly.
like deal with it. You have to just move forward. It's like giving the gate exam day in and day out. So I had my friend with me who was there with me in quarantine also at close quarters. Apart from that, I had people I could talk with, so who would listen to me at hours at end that I'm not getting the results that I wanted. And there will be days when your interviews will be terrific. You might think that there's no fault in your interviews. You might get shortlisted in this for sure, but the company won't shortlist you. So those are the really difficult days that you'll have to deal with, because
Okay.
there's no fault in you. It's just that they found someone that was more suited for that company.
Okay.
Mm.
Right. Very well said. Then coming to the final day,
Mhm.
like how was your interview? What questions did they
So,
ask?
okay. So I would start with day one itself, because it for me it was a gradual build up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
people who might be preparing for Flipkart or data science, core data science fields, which are C1 companies, do need to take into consideration that you need to learn the mathematics of data science. So Flipkart has an interview solely based on data science, mathematics only. So they ask you one topic that you're comfortable with, and they delve into the mathematics completely, the optimization function, the graphs that would be plotted for the optimization function. What would be the graph for sigmoid function, ReLU, what kind of graph does ReLU project? Where do you use ReLU? Where do you use sigmoid? What are the other optimization functions and how do you use them? So that is one scenario. Second is that every point in your resume you need to be clear and cut with. So one thing I did not know that I had used a time series analysis. So, and it uses a small value, small graph known as ACF and PACF plot. So
Okay.
if anyone is using time series, so that small graph only gives out three values. So in all my four interviews out of the five that I attended, so this point was asked that how do you draw that graph? How do you take out the values? How does it define? So in time series only, I was asked a multitude of questions, which I had to learn one by one. So time series is not a topic that is taught in our college apart from ASI department.
Okay.
So if you are writing something down on your resume, be sure that you are clearly thorough with the mathematics of it as well as the implementation of it. This part you
Okay.
can clear. Anything else you can justify that you had not come across it. And the final day of the interview, so I had built up all these questions during my four interviews, and especially in Micron and Flipkart. So
Mm-hmm.
I had really gone through the each and every point of my resume, and there's a channel I would recommend, which is Krish Nayak's channel for data science and machine learning, which goes through these topics in detail, from the interview point of view only.
This time
That
series
is,
topics.
no, every topic in machine
Okay.
learning. So
Mm-hmm.
he has made multiple playlists, and he explains topics also of how to approach a data science topic or a data analytics topic or a machine learning topic. So it starts from the basics and goes till the deployment stage. So if you are comfortable enough, you should go through the entire process. And so I had a first HR interview at CS. So in which I was asked, why do you want to work in CS?
First,
And
it was
which
HR.
yeah, the first interview was HR interview.
Okay.
So they had asked a very simple first question, that if there are 99 fishes, 199 fishes, red fishes in a pond, and one out of 200 fishes, and I want to convert that to 98% red fishes, how many red fishes should I remove? So it's a basic problem of aptitude, but I got it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a very short interview, I think 12-13 minutes.
Okay.
So after that, I had a data engineering interview, in which the data engineering department of CS had interviewed me on my resume itself. So they had asked me on my projects. So the course projects that I had done, of how I had cleaned the data, how I had what was the correlation, what is multicollinearity, what is collinearity, what is
Okay.
BIF, how do you measure it, all those things. So,
Okay.
and they asked me the difference between LDA and QDA. where are they implemented. So
Okay.
after that, I was directed towards the machine learning department. So I think that data engineering department person might have thought that I was better suited as a machine learning engineer.
Mhm.
So in the machine learning department, they again went through my entire resume. So they had asked me about the projects that I had done. So I had done projects in image recognition, I had done in
Mhm.
classification, I had done projects in general computation also. So what they asked me was, one of the questions that was came was like, you have done all of these things but not specialized in any one, so is there any
Okay.
reason? So I had justified it by saying that there were many fields that I could choose from, so I tried to do something new every time that I was given an opportunity for. So there was that. And so the machine learning interview had asked me about the CC and IC PORs that I had done. So the
Okay.
IC work was done during that first semester. After first semester, I had taken the position of interview coordinator. So I had worked as a. So what was my experience as an interview coordinator, and what was my experience as a company coordinator? So they had dwelled into these topics as to what are the stresses that you face. So I had been honest with them that it was not easy. The
This
company
was in
coordinator.
machine learning department itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had also asked them relevant questions like, what is it like working at CS? What is the stress level? So they had given a similar answer that sometimes it is stressful and sometimes it is, most of the times it's not that stressful. So I think the handling of stress and the part of handling multiple tasks at once came out during my PORs. So that was the only interview in which my PORs were touched upon.
Okay.
So it felt good that it was recognized somewhere.
Mhm.
And
So
finally, we had a talk with the CEO. So he asked us
okay.
about YCS and what would be the location that you would prefer. So that was it.
Okay. Nice. So whatever you have learned throughout your interviews, like you have learned from your failures, whatever
Yes.
they asked you in your previous interviews, that has helped you in your final interview.
Yes.
And the biggest reason for you getting on day 7 is you were continuously motivated. You
Yes.
didn't give up. Maybe there were people who have done better projects or more projects than you, but they might have given up. To be frank, in my case, I was starting giving up on day 2 itself. So I highly like it's highly commendable for people who keeps motivated, who keep themselves motivated till day 15 as such. Then this coming to PR part, what are your views on it?
So
Um,
PORs, I would say, are not that important. If you are doing your MTech and you are targeting companies which are not related to consulting or finance, I would say don't take up work that you can't handle. So take up
okay.
work that you can handle that would add to your resume in a positive manner. So the
Mhm.
company coordinator work. So what I mistakenly did was I took up company coordinator position along with a student companion position. So the student companion work was not very hard,
Mhm.
but during the time of orientation and when students were being inducted at IIT Bombay, so this was delayed this year. And the company coordinator work also, they came in together, so it was difficult for me to handle. And with my project also it was, and preparing for the placements, it was difficult for me
Okay.
to handle.
Okay.
And whereas for people like who were better adept at multitasking or did not have an issue, did not face so many problems. So I would
Okay.
say that take up PORs, it would add to your character. It would certainly give you skills that you can apply in various fields of life, like talking to an HR. I did not even once feel that I
Mhm.
was under stress when talking to an HR, because I had been doing that for the past 3 to 4 months. So that
Mhm.
was a pressure that I could easily handle. But the other stresses that come along with it, you need to know a way to handle it.
Yeah. Like understand yourself, uh,
Yeah.
know your
Measure
yeah.
yourself. Don't take up tasks that you can't complete. And tasks that may lead to you losing out on your CPI. That is the main thing that you should remember, that CPI is something which is very important at IIT Bombay, and you should not take up work which may affect it. Okay, if you have a good CPI, then go for any POR that you wish for. But if your CPI is low, I would prefer that you don't go for a POR that is way too hectic, and just build up on your skill.
Okay. As you mentioned, CPI, your CPI at the time of placement was
8.64.
8.64. Did you face any difficulty at that?
Yeah, so this time around there was clear, I would say, cutoff of 9. So many companies shortlisted people who had a CPI above 9, no matter how the test went. And I would say still 8.64, I was still in the favorable region. So I was still above 8.5. So, and 8 above 8. So generally what the feedback from our seniors was that if you are above 8, you're safe. But that was not the case. In my case also, being above 8.5 gave me a little edge, I would say, in some companies. Like for Honeywell, Janil and I had given the test along with our other teammates also, whose CPIs ranged from 7 to Janil had the highest CPI, I would say 9.1, I think here, 9.3 or 9.1. But I had a
above 9.3.
He was above 9. So I was having 8.64. So my codes ran in Honeywell, so there was no issue in that, and that too I completed in half an hour. So my test was perfect. It did not have any issue, but I was put in the wait list, whereas Janil was put in the short list. So the time was not different. The codes ran perfectly for both of us, but still I was not shortlisted. So there is a clear difference when the CPI part comes into play.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So if you have chance, you try to keep your CPI above 9.
above. Surely. But if you are watching this in the second semester, surely try to keep it above 9. But if you are watching this in the third semester, then concentrate on your project, and I would say try to crack as many aptitude and coding tests as possible. That would be of more importance, because your CPI updation is done after, I would say, day 5. In our case, it was after day 5, day 6. So there was no like benefit from scoring well in your project. So grind on your preparation, I would say.
Right. Perfect. Like, thank you, Prajwal. Like, from you perfectly explained your journey from how did you prepare your course, your aptitude, and how you kept yourself motivated till day 7, which is highly commendable, I would say. Then thank you so much. And to the viewers who are watching this, you may connect with Prajwal using the links given in the description box.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.